welcome to more Anime Vice. So last week we gave you numbers 20 through 11 of your favorite animes of 2015. But you know what time it is now? It's time for the top 10.
This is really exciting. These are some really good anime for 2015. Sadly, Mark can't be here with us like he was last week. He got sent to a virtual world where he had to assassinate his professor with one punch, so he can't be here right now.
It happens.
I think that joke landed quite well.
Okay guys, number 10 is Shokugeki no Soma, or Food Wars.
This is an awesome anime. Yeah. So I was a little reluctant to start this one because I'm not really big into like food shows or anything like that, and especially like a food anime, like that seems kind of weird,
But
right?
You do like food.
I do like food. This is just an awesome anime, right?
It really is. Yeah, so you've got your main character, Soma. He's just a school-age kid.
He's like 15.
Yeah, and he's gonna graduate, and he wants to work with his dad so that he can learn more cooking and stuff like that. And his dad's like, yeah, remember that plan you had to work with me at the restaurant? Well, I'm gonna go away for a couple of years and go cooking around the world, so I'm sending you off to this school. Well, it turns out that this is like the best cooking school ever.
Yeah, each episode he has to fight against bad people who are also cooking and they're trying to like sabotage his food, and he's trying to make the best dish possible. He's trying to stay in the school. For me, I sort of liken it to like if Naruto were about cooking.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where your main character he really is the top at what he does, so you're not necessarily worried that he's going to do poorly, but everyone is prejudiced against him because his family pretty much owned a diner. It wasn't a big fancy restaurant. It's not part of a chain. It's nothing huge like all of their families.
So he's like an underdog because of class. It's like class warfare. Now, I do have to say that the first episode is pretty wild. They go there. You know, there's a lot of interesting sort of erotica imagery of when people are tasting stuff and really liking it, which is...
Oh, food. You're so wonderful.
Like that, but imagine things gushing everywhere. But it's funny. It's cute, and it's meant for humor. But in the first episode especially, I was like, what is happening? But let's move on. Number 9, Assassination Classroom.
Yeah.
Now, this is a cool anime. We only watched a few episodes of it. I felt that it's got a really, really great idea, especially for a movie, which it makes sense they actually made a Japanese live-action movie based on it. Though I'm not sure if this is something I'd really want to kind of follow through to the end, because for me, it felt sort of like a limited idea.
Yeah, it also felt like every episode was essentially the same premise. Now, the premise of the show is that you've got this class of sort of misfit kids.
Yes.
And their teacher is this weird alien-esque thing, though apparently he's from Earth, or so he says.
Yeah, he's still an alien.
And the point is that they all have to figure out a way to kill him by the end of the semester, but at the same time, he's going to educate them, you know, in actual school stuff.
Now, if they don't kill him by the end of the year, he will destroy the Earth. And he already showed that he could do this by destroying most of the moon.
Yeah.
You can't help but fall in love with the teacher.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He flies at like Mach 50 or something. It's unbelievable. And it's really fun and cute, but I already felt like 4 or 5 episodes in, it was getting very repetitive.
I mean, each episode was sort of like, you know, another one of the students would sort of do their best to try and take him out in their own style. Next episode, someone else like, oh, I do baseball. I'm going to try and take him out baseball style.
Yeah.
Oh, I really enjoyed what I watched, but like Dave said, I felt the same way, that it just sort of felt very repetitive. As we always say, guys, tell us what it is that we're missing, and tell us, you know, if it does change up and if we should keep going on it. Okay, guys, ready for number 8? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders.
We know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a very popular anime and manga. We're not really into it.
No.
We didn't watch it. I remember watching a few episodes of the first series and going, why is that Dio dude so mean to JoJo? And I've actually read the manga for the first series, but this isn't one that we really follow. But we know it's super popular, and it's got some of the best character design I've ever seen.
Yeah, the character design is just sort of incredible and fun.
Totally.
We've also seen some awesome JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cosplay.
Yeah, and let us know in the comments down below why you guys think JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is awesome and why we should watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, number 7 is Parasyte the Maxim. Now, this is a cool anime. This is one actually based on a pretty popular manga from back in the late 80s, which is surprisingly never done an anime of it before. They've done some live-action movies that came out a few years ago. Basically, this anime follows a character named Shinichi, who one night basically gets invaded by this parasite that crawls into his hand, and he's able to cut it off from going into his brain and turning him into essentially a pod person. Now he's got this hand that's like a weird weird sentient parasite that's talking to him, and it ate his own hand.
Yeah.
On top of that, there are a bunch of these parasites around that have taken other people's bodies, and they are literally eating people.
Yeah, I mean, those guys got to the brains, and so those people are just done for. Now, one of the great things is the hand, whose name is now Migi.
Yeah, which means hand.
Yeah, it's so much fun because a lot of it is about the relationship between Shinichi and Migi and how they sort of have to learn to work together even though their goals are different. Migi only really cares about himself, and Shinichi cares about the human race.
Yeah, well, Migi is all about survival. It is a pure organism. When I look at this show, it reminds me of sort of a cross between John Carpenter's The Thing and Guyver. It's really violent.
Yes.
Like incredibly violent, and the animation is really good.
Yeah.
I really care for Shinji, the main character. Part of that might be because I really feel like he's in danger.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that he is very much in danger because these other parasites that did take over the full bodies, they're a lot more invulnerable. Like, they are vulnerable, but not nearly as much as he is as a human. Number 6 is Gate. So we have a main character, Itami, and he's an otaku.
Yeah.
He how do I even explain this? There's shades of like Stargate. There's shades of every fantasy sort of anime and game that you've ever liked.
Well, even like Blood Battlefront Blockade. That idea of this portal opening up in the middle of a major city and these creatures coming out of it.
And now during this time when these creatures come out of it, Itami, he kind of takes charge and is able to actually save a lot of people. But the thing is, well, that's sort of his job because he's a soldier.
He's a military guy, yeah. Now, what I really like about this anime is it's really unusual because the character is kind of old for anime standards. The main character's 33 years old.
Yeah.
And usually most anime is about, high schoolers. And so it's really interesting to see somebody who is an actual adult. Basically, he helps lead the group through the portal into this fantasy world where it's medieval and there's dragons, but also they can't handle, our technology with our rad missiles and guns and stuff.
Yeah.
And
your arrows are nothing against our guns.
It's good, but I also didn't feel like a need to watch a lot more.
But the thing is, we're also not as much into fantasy kind of stories. Overall, we're not. It doesn't mean that we don't love certain ones, which we'll actually talk about a little later.
I was going to say, there's one on the list we really liked that's totally in the fantasy genre.
But overall, we don't generally gravitate towards fantasy.
So this is funny because number 5 is the one that I was just talking about that is in a fantasy world that we really liked, and that's The 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, now this one is a Netflix original. Now, that doesn't mean that Netflix actually made it.
It's an original for America. It's based on a manga. The anime came out in Japan. It is awesome. I think this is actually the one that we watched the most episodes for. Now, I certainly don't want to get into the subs and dubs debate down here in the comments below. What was cool is because Netflix took this and it came out a few months afterwards, they have both the subtitles and it's dubbed in many different languages.
Yeah, and the subs and dubs are actually very, very close, much closer than a lot of anime we've seen.
So if you feel like watching the dub, it's a good quality one. This is a awesome show. This show reminds me so much of 3 of my favorite, more like classic anime. It reminds me of Dragon Ball mixed with Rurouni Kenshin mixed with Inuyasha.
Yeah.
It's just got all of those fun things. Like Dragon Ball, it's like high fantasy and it's cute and fun, but also one of the main characters is like pervy.
Yeah.
Now, we've had some problems with talking about perviness on this network, and I think the thing is, I'm not a big fan of when the anime itself is pervy, but when one character is pervy and other people reacting to their perviness, that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Like when Roshi was pervy with Bulma, and then Bulma would beat him for it. That stuff is funny to me. And the main character Meliodas, who's this badass knight, he's basically if Roshi from Dragon Ball looked like Link from Zelda.
That's a good way to put it. But he's always groping one of the other main characters, Elizabeth, and then the pig Hawk is always telling him, "What the hell are you doing? Stop groping her."
Okay, so the show focuses on these 7 rad knights. They basically have superhero powers, and 10 years ago they were the protectors of the realm, and then they got framed for trying to take over the kingdom, and they had to scatter, and ever since then they've been on all the wanted posters. Everyone wonders what happened to the seven deadly sins.
Yeah. So when it comes to the present time within the anime, you've got this girl Elizabeth who's a princess, and she's trying to seek out the 7 deadly sins because everything's going crazy in the kingdom, and the holy knights, who are the knight group that sort of is supposed to be protecting them, seem to have...
They're straight up evil.
Yeah,
okay,
they really are.
Now,
and so, she's seeking out The Seven Deadly Sins.
I love the Sam show so much. This show is so rad, though. The fights are sick. The characters are awesome. Bon is so awesome.
Yeah.
Bon is like if you mixed like Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer with like Han Solo with like, I don't know, who else?
I don't know, fashion sense of Tyler Durden.
There you go. He's got the dude is awesome. He's totally rad. I love Kane. Kane is like a different version of Aquaman.
Yeah.
I mean, all these characters are so badass. It's so cool. I love Gila, who's this super evil holy knight. She seems like an evil Pokemon trainer with like these crazy superhero knight powers. And she's so bad. The show is awesome.
Yeah, and it's got a talking pig named Hawk.
Yeah,
and Hawk's mom.
I couldn't recommend this more. It's only on Netflix, so if you don't have Netflix, you're not able to watch it unless you watch anime the naughty way. But it's well worth it.
This is just the kind of anime that just makes you happy. Okay, next up is Fairy Tail. Now, this is another one of those long-running animes. Once again, no, it's very popular. As we said, neither of us are particularly into the fantasy realm, so Fairy Tail is not exactly our thing, but I understand why people love it. I understand why it's so popular, and obviously you guys love it enough to make it your number 4 choice.
Yeah, so there you go. Number 3, Death Parade.
Yeah.
Boy howdy. This is the feel-good anime of the year.
No.
Death Parade is crazy, okay? It's a show that, first off, it's not even based on a manga. It's one that was based on a short film that was made for an animators contest. There is a place between heaven and hell where people who die go to, and they have to play a game, and that game showcases what their real personalities and their souls are, and then from there, the arbiter decides if they go to heaven or hell, or in this case, it's reincarnation or the void.
Yeah, now the thing about this is that it's very angsty. It's not a happy anime.
I wouldn't say angsty.
No?
I would say like whips your freaking guts out, sorrowful.
There's a lot of emotion in this anime, and I can totally see why you guys love
man.
it. For me, though, I could not take how depressing
I can't
it
do
was.
it. Each episode, every time I watch it, I'm like, you guys are killing me
Yeah.
here. Like, I know if I was like, for instance, like a 15-year-old brooding teenager, Death Parade would be my favorite anime. Because I'd be like, oh, life is so unfair and dark, and I'm obsessed with death, and this is so cool. And it's not that it's bad. It's not bad.
It's
great. It's cool. It's got a great concept. Everything's really good. It's just like, I'm at a point in my life right now, I can't handle it. I'm like, no, this is too much.
Yeah.
Every episode, I want to just give up on humanity because everyone is terrible and depressed.
It's like the complete antithesis of Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one of them just brings you up and makes you happy, and the other one, it's just like, I'm now in a pit of despair.
Yeah, kids, one's uppers and one's downers. Learn more about it at Anime Vice. Anyway, Death Parade is cool. I wouldn't recommend it if you have depression issues because you might just commit the sue after watching it, but you never know.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't listen to me. That's terrible. Or
You said commit the sue.
Maybe I saved people. You ever think about that?
Maybe, it's possible.
I could have saved you guys.
Did
Anyway.
Dave save you? Let us know in the comments below.
Okay, guys, it's really exciting. We only have 2 left. Anna, what's number 2?
Number 2 is Overlord. Now, Overlord is a really, really cool one.
Yeah.
The whole concept is, so you start off with this character, and he's in a virtual world.
Like a few hundred years from now.
Yeah, it's in the future. He's in this game, and the game is about to shut down. The server is about to be shut down, and he's just sort of waiting till the end.
Yeah, it's sort of like imagine the guy who led the best guild in World of Warcraft. That's basically your main characters.
And so he's waiting, and the clock counts down, and then it starts over again. And all of a sudden, weird stuff sort of starts happening where the NPCs, the non-playable characters, start interacting with him in ways that they wouldn't be able to do when he was playing.
And not just that, he realizes that the NPCs and him have been transported to another realm that isn't the same realm as the game. And from there, our main character has to basically play this role of this badass lord, but at the same time, he's a dude who seems to be stuck in this world, and he has to figure out where he is and how he can survive.
Yeah, and so while he's dealing with his human emotions, he's also sort of kind of morphing into what his character is.
Yeah.
He's starting to feel the emotions that the character would be feeling and sort of seeing things the way the character would be seeing them, not the way he would have been seeing them.
I really love this anime. I love this dissonance between this guy who, when he talks, he's like, and we will destroy them because we are the greatest. And then you get the inner monologue like,
oh my God, did I do that right?
Exactly, and it's really cool because you have this really relatable character, but at the same time, he looks like freaking Skeletor from He-Man. He knows how to be the most badass in this video game. And so it's not that he can't survive, it's that he just doesn't know where he is. And he's also playing this delicate game where the NPCs at any point might realize he's not actually their lord, and they might try to destroy him.
But I gotta say, it's such a brilliantly written anime, because when you watch it, it's like you can see why he was the leader of the top guild. You know, they really make it that he is a master strategist.
Yeah.
And they do everything just sort of so it all makes sense. And, you know, it's just really cool. So worthwhile. So, Dave, we are up to number 1.
Now, if you guys haven't figured out what number 1 is, it's probably because you haven't watched any anime in 2015. But if you had, what would it be, Anna?
One Punch Man!
Oh, come on. This had to win. This is the best anime on TV right now.
Yeah, this is an anime that is so much fun and so good, and it also just sort of transcends anime. Like, if you guys watched our Gateway Anime episode on it, we got our friend T, who is so not into anime, to watch it, and she loves it. You know, it's one of those things that it doesn't matter if you're a fan of anime or not. It is just such a fun story. It's such a good, well-written anime, and
it's the best. It is one of the best fighting / comedy animes you'll ever see. If you haven't seen One Punch Man, that's surprising. But if you haven't, it's about this main character named Saitama, who's a guy who always wanted to be a hero. And so he dedicates 2 years of his life to train really hard. He trains so hard his hair falls out. And then he goes and he fights like these monsters, and he always defeats them with one punch. The guy's basically the power of Superman, right?
Yeah, so he's actually starting to get bored with fighting, because it's like he never actually gets to fight anyone. One punch and it's over.
Yeah. Now, we've said in the past that, you know, the show is actually a lot like The Tick, the American, you know, comic book cartoon The Tick, where you have this whole world of superheroes, and they're all ranked, and a lot of them are kind of silly. And you also get this world where it's, like, covered in kaiju. There are, like, monsters everywhere.
Yeah, the cities are always getting attacked.
Yeah, and it's nuts. And it's just so fun, because really his journey is just trying to find a challenge.
Yeah.
Because every episode, the biggest, scariest monster is going around, like, eating everybody, and he'll show up and look at them, like, with this ridiculous, like, Charlie Brown face, which I read some of this manga, and I'm so glad they kept that in, because he'll be like that, and then, like, he's fighting, he looks all cool and dynamic looking, and he always annihilates them with one punch, and it's so awesome. So it really is the best. It's, like we said, a great gateway anime for people not into anime, because it's a great superhero parody also.
Yeah, and it's awesome because it transcends genres, and it has amazing fights and amazing humor, like you said, and it's my favorite anime of the year. I totally get why you guys voted at number 1, because I certainly would have.
Exactly. It's amazing. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching the best anime of 2015. If you didn't check out our last video, that was number 20 through 11, well, you should check that out.
And thanks to all of you who went to the message board and voted, because, well, without your votes, we wouldn't have known who won. Guys, you can also be a Vicer. Go to the message board, go to the wiki. It's all in the links in the description.